Have you ever had a brilliant, game-changing idea, but you just couldn't get started? You're definitely not alone. We're going to dive into a struggle that is so common, but so misunderstood. What it's like to be incredibly ambitious, and yet somehow totally stuck. I mean, really think about it. You've got this huge, exciting goal. You know it could change everything, but when it's actually time to sit down and do the work, nothing. You're just frozen, staring at a blank page with absolutely zero momentum. If that sounds painfully familiar, well, you're in the right place. What we're actually talking about here is a paradox. It's this really strange internal tug of war where the very same drive that fuels your biggest dreams is also the thing that's slamming on the brakes. So how on earth can someone with so much ambition find it almost impossible to take that first step? Okay, let's break down this core conflict. On one side, you've got this massive ambition, right? You want to do big, important work. You have incredibly high standards for yourself. You have this real desire to create something excellent. But then, on the other side, you get low action. Just endless delays, crippling overthinking, and a complete stall out. Now, this isn't about not caring. It's actually the opposite. It's this deep friction between how great you want something to be and your ability to even get it off the ground. So what do we usually call this behavior when we see it in ourselves? Well, most of us jump to one simple and honestly pretty painful conclusion. But what if that self-diagnosis we all use is just completely wrong?
Yup, this word, lazy. For so many ambitious people who are stuck in this loop, this is the label they slap on themselves. And it's such a heavy word, isn't it? It's loaded with judgment. It feels like a fundamental failure of your character.
But, and this is the big turning point, psychology tells us that for the ambitious procrastinator, calling yourself lazy is just the wrong diagnosis. It's a surface-level symptom that totally misses the real underlying reason you're stuck. You aren't lazy. Something much more complex is going on here. So, okay, if it's not laziness, then what is it? Well, research points to two really powerful psychological drivers that actually team up to create this paralysis. And once you see them, I promise, everything starts to make a whole lot more sense.
So, culprit number one is something called perfectionistic thinking. Now, this is not the same thing as having healthy high standards. That's good. This is a thinking pattern where your mind gets trapped. Before you even start, you're trying to analyze every single possible outcome. You're trying to find the one perfect path that guarantees a flawless result. It's like trying to solve a 1,000-piece puzzle in your head before you're allowed to touch a single piece.
And what happens when you do all of that intense overanalyzing? You get mental fatigue. And this is so important. You're not tired from actually doing the work. You're exhausted from thinking about doing the work perfectly. The mental energy it takes to game out every possibility and plan for this perfect result is so huge that your brain is just totally drained before you've even started. And this is exactly how you get locked into this vicious cycle. Let's walk through it. Step 1, you set a massive, ambitious goal. Step 2, that perfectionistic thinking kicks in, and you just overanalyze everything. Step 3, all that mental work triggers some serious mental fatigue. And then, Step 4, you avoid the task. See, procrastination in this case isn't laziness at all. It's a defense mechanism. Your brain is literally trying to protect you from that overwhelming exhaustion. And the result? That big, amazing goal just sits there, completely untouched. But once you understand this cycle, it lets you reframe the entire experience. It's time to stop judging yourself for this behavior and finally start understanding where it comes from. So here's the most important takeaway. Your inability to start is not a failure of willpower. It is not a character flaw. It's not because you don't want it badly enough. It's time to let all of that guilt go. Instead, let's see it for what it really is. It's the accidental, ironic consequence of your own high standards. Your ambition is so big, and your desire for excellence is so strong that it creates this mental process that, crazily enough, stops you from ever getting started. And that leaves us with one last, really powerful thought. We're always told to just try harder or be more disciplined. But what if the way forward isn't about forcing it with more effort? What if the first real step to breaking this cycle is simply to understand it? To approach yourself not with criticism, but with a bit of clarity. Because maybe, just maybe, when you start to see procrastination as a symptom of your own ambition, you can finally find a kinder and a much more effective way to get moving.